Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Crypto Crow. So, I wanted to do another edition of Where Are They Now in 2019? I just feel like I need to say this again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a Tron hater. I'm really not a Tron hater. I call it how I see it, folks. I don't know what else to say. I call it how I see it. I mean, I hold Tron as well, like a lot of people. So, but that's not what this video is about. I just felt like I needed to make that point abundantly clear. A lot of you Tron holders are just hating on me right now, but I understand. It's just the way it is. So anyway, Dent. Now, this is not to be confused with Dentacoin. That is a completely different thing. This is just Dent. And so I'm going to start off. Actually, I'm going to read an old article, a little bit of an old article. That's a new one. This is the older one. So this is all the way back from March 29th of 2018. Okay, so this is basically a year old, but it kind of gives a little bit of an explanation as to what Dent is. Okay. So Dent Wireless today announced that it has signed contracts to start offering worldwide airtime top-ups. Okay, basically, well, I'll just read it and then I'll go into it. This means Dent users will soon be able to buy airtime top-ups and send them to another mobile user of over 400 mobile operators in over 130 countries. The recipients of the airtime top-ups can use any phone and are not required to have the Dent app installed. The recipient will receive an SMS notification from their carrier notifying their airtime has been topped up. Over 70% of the world's mobile phone users are using prepaid SIM cards, requiring users to regularly top up credits to be able to use data, voice, and SMS. The key use case for top-ups is cross-border remittance of airtime, which is a huge business opportunity for Dent. So basically, it's funny, like an example of this, obviously within the US, is my old boxing trainer, or one of my old boxing trainers, always had a different phone like every week. And he was always calling me from a different phone number. And it's like he didn't have a monthly plan. I'm guessing it was a credit thing. I don't know why, but he didn't have a monthly plan. And so he always had, I guess, these like burner phones or whatever. And, he probably still does. I don't know. It's been a few years. But basically, what Dent is enabling people to do is purchase airtime through an app using Dent tokens. And then you can either use that airtime yourself or send it to people in any of the carriers that are supported. Apparently, at the time of this, is 400 different mobile operators in over 130 countries, and they're continuing to grow. Most recently is this article, which was February 22nd of 2019. Blockchain-based mobile data trading service commercially launched by Dent and PLDT in Hong Kong. Dent Wireless Limited and PLDT Hong Kong Limited today announced they have commercially launched their joint mobile data trading service. With this service, PLDT HK customers are able to trade unused mobile data with other PLDT HK customers using the marketplace in the Dent app. The service is powered by blockchain technology, yada, yada, yada. So the point to this is you have an article all the way back from a year ago, and you have a new article from a month ago basically showing that Dent is still alive, well, and really trying to further their economy. Now, something that's happening in the very soon, as I understand it, is the Dent Afterburner loyalty program. Great benefits on 3 membership levels. Millions of Dent users can join the Dent Afterburner loyalty program by holding Dent tokens on their mobile wallets. So it's almost like they're trying to create their own pseudo proof of stake system for people that are just holding Dent tokens, and they're ultimately rewarding people in different ways. And I think this is based on, you have 3 different kind of tiers, Dent White, Dent Red, and Dent Black being the most sought after, the elite. Black is the elite level membership. Here are the benefits. Minimum Dent balance will be announced soon. And so that hasn't been established yet. 50% more referrals for you and your friends. 400 minutes of free calling per month to 5 selected countries. Trading fee discount of 50% on Dent exchange. That's a whole other thing. Early access to beta software and features, 30%. So basically, this stuff tiers down or tiers up. Well, you can't even see that because let me narrow this a bit. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. Okay. So we can narrow this down a bit. So, overall, these guys are really working on continuing to build their ecosystem, to add new ways to increase. So right now, if we're looking at the Dent price, okay, we're going to go, where is it? Dent price. Here we go. So right now, Dent price is at 0.000866 cents. Okay. It's like not even a tenth of a cent right now. However, their daily volume is still almost $1.5 million worth of Dent is being traded all the time right now. Their circulating supply is redonkulous, though. I mean, there's so many of these coins, and because of this, there's so many. So all-time high of this, I can't remember off the top of my head, but this is showing roughly 1.5 cents. So, there's still room for an 11x, but that's just to get to, their all-time high, which was never very high because there's so many of these. What they really need to do, my personal opinion is they need to start figuring out a way to buy back some of these tokens or create a use case for tokens that burns them. They need to lower their supply. I feel like they have just way too much. Total, that's 100 million, 100 billion, 100 billion tokens. And currently they are at about half of their total supply currently in circulation. So, their all-time high was January of 2018, just like everything else at point. Okay, so this is saying 0.11 cents. So that's pretty ridiculous. It's not what it was showing me here. That's April 2018. So, okay. So it needs to go further back, basically, in the timeline. So, look, Dent at one point was quite valuable based on speculation alone. It's dropped significantly like everything else in the market. However, unlike a lot of teams out there, they are still pushing forward. They are still trying to figure out ways to increase their use case, to increase the overall trading volume of the token and increase its value. One of the complaints that I have been seeing, and not even necessarily a complaint so much as an observation, is that the time packages right now are pretty expensive when you're using Dent to purchase them. A lot of them are writing it off as basically a premium paid for convenience sake, which is something that a lot of people are saying, look, I've been fine with. It helps me. This app, the Dent app, the Dent exchange, the Dent token, the increased number of telcos that are getting involved with Dent, so forth and so on, seems to be something that is continuing to grow and build a strong use case. And this is something that, I use an unlimited plan, but I'm in the United States and unlimited plans are pretty cheap nowadays. But in other countries, that's not the case. And depending on what your situation is, maybe you use a burner phone. Maybe your credit's not good enough to get a monthly plan without a $1,000 deposit. So you're forced to prepay. Well, in those instances, people can use Dent to buy and increase your package. If you're tired of somebody changing their phone number every week because they just don't keep a plan going, you can use Dent to ultimately keep their phone line full. So it's incredibly useful in the right demographic, in the right areas, and they're continuing to grow this thing. I don't want to say that I'm extremely bullish on Dent. I'm not necessarily extremely bullish. I think this is something that's going to continue to take more time. When the market turns around and there's more money flowing into crypto, I see Dent as being one of those things people buy because it's so cheap. They're going to see the potential for being able to get a quick churn and burn buck or a quick scalp trade, things like that. Tokens that are this cheap, fractions of a penny, are typically bought, pumped, and then dumped. And that's a sad truth. But I still see a lot of that happening today. However, I think in the grand scheme, longer term, if you have a lot of Dent or you're accumulating it because it's dirt cheap, it's also one of those things. All they have to do is spend the next 6 months to a year continuing to build their use case, continue building their reach, building relationships with more telcos, promoting their app, getting people out there talking about it. And I see it being very easy to get a solid return on investment if you're just a speculator alone. So while I'm not going to say I'm insanely bullish on it, I think that the potential is definitely there. They're still out there pounding the pavement, building relationships, and furthering its use case, which is bullish. Because in what has been ultimately a dead market, to see companies still doing what they say they're going to do, they're still working on new ways to improve. I give them a kudos for that, and so I'm pretty happy to see that. One thing that people make jokes about or they're commenting on are basically like articles on Reddit where they're if they get to like fourth, their top fourth position in the App Store, whether it's Google Play or whatever, they're putting that out into like Reddit and articles, but they're not saying like in Malaysia or in Vietnam, like, small countries where it shouldn't necessarily be that difficult to get those positions. But who cares? I mean, they're just trying to get people talking. And I think that's fine. And look, let's face it, it's still pretty difficult to get top anything in the app stores anymore because there's so much stuff and huge money goes into app marketing. I never realized until I was preparing to launch my own app how utterly difficult it is to push beyond the people that are pumping money into marketing their applications. I mean, it's huge business. So getting first in this market, fourth in another, fifth in another, good on them. Is it world global news? No, not necessarily, but it's good that they're still continuing to let people know what they're doing. And I think that is vitally important. While some people are making fun of these types of headlines in Reddit and otherwise, there are a lot of companies out there that aren't even saying a word. And so it's leaving everybody really frustrated. At least this way, we have a good idea that these guys are they're in tune with what their marketing is. They're in tune with what they're doing and where their performance levels are across different countries. And I think that's a good thing. They're paying attention, which means they care, and they're pushing forward to increase that. So that's it really for Dent. I still hold my Dent. I'm still proud of Dent. I'm glad to see that they're continuing to push forward. If you're interested in earning free Dent, this is going to be it. When this launches and they start releasing more news about the Dent Afterburner program, it's going to give you the opportunity to save some money, get free minutes, and generate more money from referrals and things like that. So if you're a Dent holder, you use the app, you're into it, this is definitely something I think you're not going to want to miss out on. So keep close eyes on this. And until next time, guys, crow your coins, and I'll see you again soon.